My dear students, I hope you may see my slides also. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. My dear students, this is the last class of IBO-1 and block number 6. And the topics is related to issues of international business operation. Means issues related to international business. This is the last class. I have already completed some of the blocks regarding block 1 to block 5. In your book, it is divided into 5 blocks. Block 1, 2, block 2 and 3, 4, 5. And this is the sixth number of block is only for the extension relating to international business operation or any issues is there. We have to discuss one by one. My dear students, myself, Dr. Durga Madhav Mahapatra, lecturer in commerce, Fakirmon Autonomous College, Baleswar, as well as counselor of Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi. In front of you, I am presenting my slides as regards to the particular topic IBO-1, that is issues of international business operation. And this is the last class. I hope so. If some topics, any topic I have left, then I may reply through my WhatsApp also. My dear students, in this class or today's class, there are different type of contents I have discussion is there. Sometimes some students are asking regarding to foreign institutional investor. Then I have today's class for discussion on FII and corporate social responsibility and legal issues as regards to international trade and legal dimension of exports, and first related topic is the international trade theories. My dear students, before go through these topics detail one by one, I have pointed out some of the main points which are already I am discussed in last class. I have covered that the WTO has frame out the countries in different ways: developed countries, developing countries, underdeveloped countries, or you may call it as low income countries, lower middle income countries, upper middle income countries, and higher income countries. If you talk about the higher income countries, that is called as a developed countries. If you clubbed with lower middle plus upper middle income countries, that is called as a developing countries. Another one is low income countries, that is called as a, you may call it as a, that is called as a underdeveloped countries. These countries, these three types of countries, developed or low middle income countries, or may be called as a higher income middle countries, or underdeveloped, there are different characteristics are there. They have on some identity. If you talk about low income countries, which is so called as a underdeveloped countries, these countries are limited in industrialization, and high birth rate are there, and low literacy rates are there, and the in particular countries there is a political instability is also there, and different types of unrest activities are to be focused on these countries. The best example in today's date, Myanmar. Presently what Myanmar, or in relation to the particular countries, there is a, they are mainly excessive dependency on imports. Basically African countries are the low income countries, you may say called as a low income countries. They are technological backwardness, they are unemployment issues or underemployment issues. They are basically African countries and South Saharan countries are there. And their industrial development is only focused towards only the consumer goods of industry, and there is a greater cloud in front of this type of low income countries, that is called as a poverty. Poverty is a one important factor through which the particular country can face a lot in terms of business, in terms of the standard of living also. My dear students, if you talk about less developed countries, somehow less developed, or you may call it as a, that is called as a developing countries, the certain characteristics are there. What are these characteristics? These characteristics are, they are in early stage of industrialization. Their characteristics is, there is only expansion of consumer markets. Their characteristics is, their availability only cheap, somehow their availability of cheap raw material also, and their availability of, and some problems are to be faced in lower middle income countries also. If you talk about in upper middle income countries, you may so called as a developing countries. In such scenario, they are less dependency on agriculture, and their people are somehow engaged with some of the trade or export and imports, and their low wages cost also. They are somehow increasing literacy position is somehow it is changes, or somehow competition or lower competition at a lower end of cost also, and their occupational mobility of the people shifted from agriculture to industrialization. These are called as a upper middle income countries. India so called as a upper middle income countries, so called as a developing countries. My dear students, if you talk about high income countries, that is called as a USA, UK, or Brazil, these are called as a high income countries. They are basically based on oil rich countries, and they are basically depend upon their contribution towards service is more than 50% service sector contribution. Another one is their intellectual technology or development of intellectual technology or over machine technology is also changes, and their dominance on scientists also means they are even a position towards a new type of Japanese war culture, or may be called as a UK's war culture. My dear students, in such a scenario, they are emphasized on future plans and policies also. My question is here, if you talk about the international business, there is a low developed countries to developing to developed countries. We are in a integration of approach of a particular trade and commerce and business in relevance to internationalization of our business. But how far it is? But if you talk about in international trade, there are different blocks are there. Blocks, blocks. What these are called as a trade blocks. Trade blocks means sometimes you listen from radio, or you read from different newspapers or any type of books also. Listen that European countries and sometimes SARC countries or sometimes North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA is there. Sometimes you listen, Association of Southeast Asian Nations, Asian countries is there, ASEAN, ASEAN, and AFTA is there, and IFTA is there. These are called as a trade blocks. It means different countries have joined hand together and they start some own way of doing their business with a some liberalization of their economical condition or economical approach of ness. That economical approach, that economical condition of approach, then only the new type of blocks they have to form or trade, they are not restricted towards a trade barriers. These are called as a trade blocks, or they are maybe called as a business blocks, or they are maybe called as a joint hand together for a new type of internationalization of their business. The question is, one student asks me, sir, European unions, always I listen European unions. Europe, before Europe, if you called as a European unions, they are so called in previous days, that is called as a European Economic Community, that is called as a EEC. Sir, who are the member of European Union? Now France is there, Germany is there, Italy is there, Belgium is there, Netherlands is there, Luxembourg is there, and they form a one treaty of at a Rome in the year of 1957, and afterward it will be started in 1958. But in 2004, they have joined another 10 countries together with this, along with other countries like as a Czech Republic, like as Estonia, Greece, Hungary, and Lithuania, Latvia, Malta, Slovakia, and Slovenia. These are called as European unions. Everybody, and they have an own currency. They have an own currency, and that currency is started in the year of 1st January 2002. That currency name is called as a euro currency. Euro currency is only dealt with, only focused or undertaken by the European unions. But if you talk about US, they are also forming some of the trade blocks, and they are forming of some of the companies block, that is also called as a North American Free Trade Agreement, that is called as a NAFTA. And that NAFTA is established in the year of 1994. Some countries are joined hand together to form this trade bloc, that is called as a USA, Canada, Mexico, and some other developing countries, so called as a developing country. So we are always focus on these trade blocks. But question is, India belongs to which trade blocks? Later on, I have discussion one by one. And third trade bloc is the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Southeast Asian Nations, that is called as a ASEAN, 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 that is called as the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, which belongs to, or it joint hand of countries of only 6 countries, like as Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, Thailand, Brunei, and Indonesia, and they are joined together. They start their own trade bloc, that is called as the Asian countries, that the year of 1st January 1992. And another one is the other some countries are there, like as a SAARC countries. We are always focusing on the SAARC countries. Why not we talk about SAARC countries? SAARC countries, the full form is South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. South Asian Association for regional cooperation, that is called as a SAARC. SAARC. SAARC countries, who are the members? First member is the India, next one is the Bangladesh, next one is the Bhutan, next one is the Pakistan, next one is the Maldives, next one is the Nepal, and next one is the Sri Lanka. These countries are joined hand together to only to promote the business, and they form a one trade bloc that is established in the year of 2007. But
Excuse me,
apart
sir.
from, yes,
Sir, please share your PPT with us.
yes. So apart from these, the some other issues are also there. My question is, we are already focused on some of the countries like as a developed, developing, underdeveloped, and we are discussing some of the trade blocs are there, European Union and NAFTA, North American free trade agreements also there, ASEAN is there, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations are there, and also AFTA, Asian free trade areas are also there, and SAARC countries also there, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, SAARC countries are there. These countries, why these countries are to be promoted, or they are standing behind of to form a trade bloc? Only one issue is there, only internationalization of their business, trade and commerce. My dear students, I'm thankful to these countries only, so that the particular our internationalization of business, it means exporting and importing a goods of services, are a such a smooth way through these trade blocks, through these tariffs, and through these type of activities also. Now I am presenting one by one.
Hello.
If you talk about
Hello.
international trade theories, there is a one concept always makes my mind, that is called as a balance of trade. What is balance of trade? It's just a relation between the nations import and export. I have already discussed in first class. There is a positive balance is there, that is called as a surplus balance, and there
Hello.
is a negative balance is there, that is called as a,
Hello.
that is, yes,
Sir. Sir,
yes.
slide show করুনি.
Slides open. Okay, 1 minute.
Okay.
Have you seen my slides?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And in a balance of trade, it is a relations between the nations import and export. So on this background, I have discussion regarding the different countries and different trade blocks in relation to this balance of trade. It means there may be a surplus, there may be a surplus, or maybe a deficit, or you may call the so-called as a informally called as a trade gaps is there. The balance of trade, almost it is divided only the goods and services balance also. And in rightly, another concept is arises, that is balance of payment. It's a just like a accounting records, and it's a monetary transaction in between two countries with the rest of the world. I have already stated in previous slides. And there are different types of transaction payments are also there. Imports of goods, services, financial capital, financial transports are there. It means there is also a positive or surplus items are there, or negative or deficit items are there. You may call it as a sources of funds, or you may call it as a uses of funds are there. Means it summarizes the only for the exporting and importing through a rest of the world with a specified period of time. You may call it as a single currency, through a single currency. I am pointed out the single currency. If you talk about single currency, that's called as, if you in a European Union, they have an own currency in 2002. If you talk about some other Latin American trade blocks, they have an own currency that is called as a dollar. And through this way, through the particular account is maintained. But some difficulties in international trade and commerce is there. Already I have stated that is distance, that is a difference of language, and also risk in transit or lack of information about the business or businessman or creditworthiness of the business, or you may call it as a risk exposure related to bad debts, or you may call it as a inability of not strong proof of a buyer's ability, or that's called as a there is another point is the export restrictions are there. Sometimes some countries have a higher custom duty cost taxes is there, and some various documents, some formalities are there, and through which the foreign trade will be declared. Policies are are so strict in some countries, so that it is difficult to promote their internationalization of business. If you, and sometimes foreign market position also changes due to the different price interaction, demand and supply interaction. How the price is determined? When demand and supply interact at a one point, then the price is determined. And some government policies, marketing, customs laws, and threats are there, through which it's facing some of the international business and trade and commerce. And sometimes payment problem is there. Payment problem means exchange rate systems and remittance of money and intense of competition. Nowadays competition is higher in a lateral stages in IBO-4. When I put my slides up in the next class onwards, I am focusing how the intense competition arises in international business. It means different nations have exporting same type of product to the different countries. It means the government supposed to be in a through different online advertisement. I have discussed in last class, through e-commerce the business is more hassle free, more usable way through which the win the particular type of market. It's a problem in terms of competition. But question is, another topic is, somehow one student asked me, sir, what are the trade theories? These in international trade theories are different types. One theory is the theory of comparative cost advantage. Comparative cost advantage means, that name says comparative cost advantage. It means some countries have one specialized on some products and they got a comparative cost advantage. On this way, those countries who are lower in such a type of products or producing the such type of goods, they are exporting. And this type of concept is called as a comparative cost advantage, means positive aspect of a particular country. Another one is factor proportion theory. If you talk about factor proportions theory, it is also known as a Ohelin or Hexer-Ohelin theory, or it means similarly some countries specialize in exports of a particular product, and they have an intense factor are there on between the two commodity or two factor models are there, and through which one hand they are producing, another one they exporting. That intense of factor means some of the important points, important positive note are there through which they are exporting, they are specializing on particular product. Another one is human capital approach theory there, where the human resource, like as in India, the skilled manpowers are there, and it is developed by the Baker, Canning, and Casing. He said the labor can be classified into skilled and unskilled, and supply of skilled, unskilled manpower, labor intensive product imports, through which the particular theory is based. And sometimes some natural resource theory is also there. Bankage, they are focusing the natural resource theory means some of the natural resources which are abundant by the particular country, like in African countries you see There is a huge natural resources are there. In India also, huge natural resources is there. And some other countries have a different natural resources is there through which they are utilizing. And another one is the R&D, research and development, product life cycle. Product life cycle in a marketing, you already know, when you develop a particular product and it will at a one point it will be saturated. That is stages of a product life cycle of a different leading foreign market, as well as a research, and through research and development the new product are to be come up, like as a for example of electrical vehicles. Nowadays it is very much demand in countries like in India, because a huge consumption of petrol or diesel, in comparison to the other countries. That in this way the Tesla is more focusing toward where it is really started their business in India also, or start their own workshop also. These type of issues are to be addressed upon these theories, that is called as a trade between developed and developing country, as well as trade against industrialized country themselves. Another one is a large scale theory. Large scale theory, the best example is the China. It means the China is producing very cheap, with a cheap raw material, with a the particular product with a low, not only the low, but also in a low quality, with a more productive products they are produced. It means high output level is high, and in reaping the benefits of the large scale of production. That is the concept of economics of large scale theory. But these are the some of the theories in the examination. The question arises, what are the theories related to the international trade? You may write one by one. And some of the legal dimensions are there related to exports. What are the legal dimensions? One problem, one legal dimensions I have already discussed in the legal environment. Like there are different legal dimension. One legal dimension is foreign trade development and regulation. It is a regulation. It means that is called as the export import regulation in 1992. Means after liberalization, some one regulation is provisions are to be empowered to, our code of conduct is are to be more focused towards India to develop as or to promoting the international business. Another one is Foreign Exchange Regulation Act 1973. It is also a focused on related to NRI case, 180 case, and how the credit will be disbursed, and how to the FERA means Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, and how it will be upgraded to FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act. In this connection, they are also more focusing towards the some point of at a time of international business. Means another one is pre-shipment inspection and quality control act is also there. 1963. In a particular, the designated agencies they have also certified the quality of the product, standard of the product, and the according to the image of the countries they are importing the goods and services, or promoting their business also, with not only ask for the qualified certificate, but also it's a one type of constant policies there. And another one is custom act. Everybody know the custom act 1962. One department is there, custom department. They are physically documentary checking through the crossing the when the article crossing the Indian territory, or any export consignment, or any type of custom authority can verify the under this act 1962. But these are the some of the legal dimensions of international business and international commercial practices also there. There is a different type of practices in INCO term in 1990, or FOB and FOR. This is later on discussion on in IBO-4 also, in international commercial practices. What type of new documentation are required at the time of exporting of goods and services? Another one is there are different type of legal issues of international trade are there. What are the legal issues? Issues related to export import contract. Sometimes one issue is there related to product, related to party, related to price, related to currency, related to packaging, related to delivery of services, related to inspection, related to documentation, related to any type of settlement disputes. Already we have discussed some of the disputes also. How the dispute arises, how it is solved through litigation, through arbitration, through conciliation. These in this connection, these are the legal issues related to international trade. But if you talk about internal, another issue is issues related to relation between the exporter and his agent. Sometimes agent means it's a one type of legal document through which the principal and agent relationship is also one careful attention towards the international business, like as a parties contracts, contractual, acceptance of order, settlement dispute, renewal. These are the some issues, settlement issues, and parties, territory, and agency through which the particular problems are to focus on international way. Another one is issues relating to product. If you talk about product, that is sometimes the law relating to trademarks, copy liability, packaging, and differentiation, symbolizing of the quality of the product, or any type of product liability also, and some of the pharmaceutical issues also. These are through which the issues relating to products are there. For example, in COVID during period, when the China exporting sending some of the products to India, and India has reluctant to, or they are not receiving the particular products because of only defective in nature, like a JP, that the example of PPE kit means this is the way through which issues relating to product, like in some issues related to pharmaceutical issues or packaging issues or some of the quality issues also there. And most of the products, most of the countries of the world always focus on packaging of the items, or you may call as a toiletries or pharmaceutical, through which the expiry of the date or any precaution taken or not, or at the time of packaging prescribed code will be written over not or not, or who wants to promote the proper code is necessary. This is the some of the issues can be identified in a international legality of international trade and commerce. Another one is the issues relating to letter of credit. I have discussed later on classes in IBO-4. What is a letter of credit? It means at the time of exporting of goods of services, one letter is attached with the particular contractual relationship agreement between the bank and the exporters, and through which the particular payment can be made. And that type of issues can also called as a letter issue relating to letter of credit. And another, it is just like a documentary evidence. Another concept of the particular related to the particular product international business is like a corporate social responsibility. It's also one of an important issue as related to international license of a company, or like a MNC. What is CSR? And is a expression, and it's a obligations, or it's a needs of all stakeholder also, and it's also its influence can the business decisions also. Means yes, sometimes some of the important parties or stakeholder who are participating in CSR activities, employees, customer, supplier, community, organization, subsidiary, affiliation, joint venture, local neighborhood. These are the some. They are more. These are the real stakeholder who can contribute towards the or a set of obligation towards the CSR activities. For example, if you talk the LG company, or LG Electronics is a Korean company, and they also put a greater fulfillment of its up in towards the CSR activities in Indian market also. And if you take the example of Infosys, if you take the example of Bill Gates, which is relevant to the Microsoft, and if you take the example of Warren Buffett, these are the some of the philanthropic movements through which they are more promoting their business through the corporate social responsibility. And also some positive points are there through CSR activities. What are the positive points? One positive point is public expectations. Sometimes CSR positive way is a public expectation. Expectation means this concept is called as a social expectation, or maybe called as a social obligations, and you may call as a some economic obligations towards society, or you may call as a it's a nature of pursue their business with a new direction. And this concept is established in the year of 1960, that that CSR is a necessity of every MNC, or not only the MNC but also in domestic company also. Nowadays Indian companies Act 2013 says the 2% of the profit will be invested towards the amenities or facilities of towards the community of a particular company. It means this is a one type of expectation is arises, and legal obligations are arises towards the CSR activities. And second point is long run profit. Long run profit means they are responsible for the not only the secure the long run profit, they are more focused towards the better community living, better standard of living, better of way of doing the business, better creating a image of business, or responsible behavior can bring out a new future, new direction towards a through a CSR activities. Another MNC's positive point, that is called as the ethical obligations. What type of obligations? Social obligations, social consciousness, and that responsible of action or right of own stake of action, own sake of business, through which the positive arguments can be done. Another one is public image. Image means here to enhance the better employees access to financing, other benefits, social goals through which pursuing a social goals through which a positive argument, positive direction towards a corporate social responsibility. If you talk about CSR, another concept is that is called a better environment is necessary. Better environment to address or to solve or to protect the social problems also, and to better quality life and desirable community has a skilling of employees, like as in Tata. Sometimes Tata is doing a different ways, Mahindra is doing a different ways, and Maruti is doing a different ways, and in every IT company are they are also promoting their business in through a philanthropical approach in CSR in a different ways also. And another one is discouragement of further government regulation. Government regulation always in flexibility in towards the social responsible, and it's not less government regulations is necessary towards the CSR. I mean, they are more flexible, they are more address upon, like as in a particular type of government regulation is there. If you talk example of a philanthropical approach of CSR activities, the best example in Odisha is Subrat Bagchi and or Bagchi family. They donating the 320 crores for establishment of a cancer hospital at Bhubaneswar. This is the way. It means he is the owner of a Mind Tree company, which is a MNC one, through which a philanthropical approach is regards to the a new direction towards the establishment of business. Another one is balance of responsibility and power, means now the power has an hands of the in a society also. Society has an power and large amount of a responsibility towards society also, and the power is also greater than the responsibility also. Means the responsibility is is a one hand it encourages the balance of a particular behavioral attitude also. This is the way through which a social responsibility can done. Another one is stockholders interest. Here stockholders means share pricing or capital markets or money market, capital market you may call it as a secondary market, that through which the particularly the image of a company can be changed through the particular of CSR activities. And another one is possession of resources. How the resources will be changed through the financial resources, through technical experts, through managerial talent or support, and through a different charitable objective, and through a different type of superiority or prevention of cures, through which it is in this connection the business can be change a more corrective action they are taken into account for accomplishing the to achievement of a particular goal. Yeah, my dear student, in this connection you may say MNC, if MNC is counter enough for to establish the business in India, but also they are responsible towards business in terms of a different type of facilitate they can obtain. But somehow it has on some people, some theory says it is against the CSR. One against CSR or argument against the CSR is violation of profit maximization. My dear students, any business its main objective is profit is the main criteria. But if you talk about what is the objective of a particular business, every business in previous days means before 10 years ago everybody says the utilization of resources with a huge amount of products we have to produce and making profit. But nowadays it has changed. It has not profit, it has a service motive. So that the main objective of not only objective of a financial management also or managing the business also, not the profit maximization, but also it called as a wealth maximization is a important criteria in a particular business. Profit maximization can violates so that it is, has a negative impact or it's a one classical view through the responsibility of a business. Another one is a dilution of purpose. Sometimes some dilution arises like as a some amount will be invested, the company has an it can be poorly managed, it can be not productive purposes, it cannot be invested, or the social goals cannot be achieved, and sometimes some dilution arises through this way also. Means it's called as a misappropriation of fund, or may be called as a embellishment of fund, or may be called as you may called as a not manage the fund properly. That is the way through called as a dilution of purpose. Another one is cost. Cost means here the responsibility activities which do not cover their cost. Cost means here the product cost, or the cost means which is passed to the customer through a higher price. Means customer always getting some good quality of product or services, but they are reluctant to extra amount of money through this way. So that is called as a argument against. For example, you if you talk about in Swachh Bharat Abhijan, some Swachh Bharat cess amount is imposed upon the taxpayer, and someone is in positive way. This is the good direction of a particular government, and someone says and it is a negative way of a negative direction of a particular government. In this connection, I want to say the through which the particular society benefit of so ultimately it's useful for the benefit of the society. It means the we are meant for the only responsible towards society also. Another one is too much power, similar point is there, and lack of accountability skill also is there. It is also lack of account of poor qualified persons, or lack of accountability, lack of responsibility, lack of case is arises in business leaders also. And sometimes, and last point is, it's a lack of broad public support also, through which no broad mandate in outcry of a particular society. It's called as a broad support also. Means sometimes the people are do not know about the social responsibility. How far as MNCs are invest their amount. These are the some course of action to be taken into a consideration. To a, like in last what I am already stated, many firms globally embracing the corporate social responsibility as a philosophy with a open mind, so that the business will grow up in day by day. Another one is another the basic concept, very important concept in my slide. You see that is called as a FII. Everybody know the FDI, foreign direct investment. But what is FII? In a some sometimes ago, one student asked me one question, sir, what is FII? Foreign institutional investor or foreign institutional investor, and who are the foreign institutional investor? And you may called as a, these are called as a individuals, or maybe called as a, these are bankers, they may be called as a insurance companies, may be called as a any fund organizations. These are called as a foreign institutional investors. Like as a, you see there are different type of mutual fund company are running their business in India also. This is the way through which they are investing money. Or different type of banks are there through which they are establishing their business, through which they are the called as a foreign institutional investor. Or different types of angel investor, different types of a high net worth individuals, they are invest their business in India also. This is called as a foreign institutional investor. But where the fund are, how it operates, this is operates through two types. My dear student, listen, this is operates through two types. One is equity investment, another one is 100% debt route. If you talk about equity investment means that is called as a 70% equity and 30% debt. The question is, what is equity investment and what is debt instruments? Equity instruments and debt instruments. Equity means equity share capital or through invest in a particular amount. And debt means debt instruments. Like there are different types are there. I have to point it out in the on this background also. Another way of for FIs is there 100% debt route. 100% means 100% investment through debt securities. My dear student, listen, through equity investment, 100% is divided into two parts, 70 plus 30. Another one is 100, totally 100% debt. But in a 70-30, you see in my slide, in the red color, I have enmarked. In the red color, I have enmarked like as a those securities which are dealt in primary and secondary market, and which are only listed or to be listed. That is called as a unlisted, listed, or to be listed on a recognized stock exchange. These are securities are called as a 70%. It means, first of all, you should know market means what is market? Is a market is a place where buyers and sellers are there. But what is capital market? Capital market is a place where two parties are there. One is a broker, another one is a company. The through which the through broker it can be the total business can be operated. The question is, what is primary market and what is secondary market? Secondary market is known as a stock exchange. Primary market is also known as a new issue market, and that is called as a IPO, initial public offerings, or public issue, or a new issue. That type of arrangement are called as a primary market. But in a secondary market, when these issues are to be transacted through a stock exchange, that is called as a secondary market. But my dear student, listen, stock exchange, there are generally three types of bigger stock exchange are there. One is BSE, another one is NSE, another one is N, one is BSE, another one is NSE, another one is OTCI, over the counter exchange of India. But in the regional stock exchanges are also there. There are 20 regional stock exchanges are there. But in present scenario means last 5 years, only 6 to 7 stock exchanges are in operational, because due to the stricter guidelines by the Security Exchange Board of India, the stock exchange are stopped. If you talk about Bhubaneswar Stock Exchange, there is no operation in Bhubaneswar Stock Exchange. If you talk about Meerut, if you talk about some other states stock exchange, these are not in operational. But the question is, operational is only Bombay Stock Exchange, which is established in 1872. That is called as the Native Broker Association of India. That stock exchange is established, and some shares, those who are issue or new issue, or you may call it as a initial public offerings can be come up by the new company or in existing company. These are to be transacted in stock exchanges after the listed in the stock exchange. Listed means there are some guidelines are there through which they are renamed or named should be put in that particular stock exchange. Then it will be called as a listed. Sometimes it is unlisted, means they are not listed in a such type of stock exchanges. Those shares are not to be transacted. So that here written, it is unlisted, it is listed, or to be listed on a recognized stock exchange in India. Another one is a UTI. You said there are different types of schemes are there. Unit Trust of India, UTI, which is established in 1964, and you may call it as these are the domestic mutual fund companies are there, and they are also a called as a some equity investment, and some warrants are there. It is also called as a debt warrants are there. It is also called as a equity investment route. If you talk about debt route, or 100% debt, 100% loan, 100% investment in different type of instrument through which you may call it as a debentures. There are different types of debentures are there. Participating, non-participating, convertible, non-convertible, and the redeemable, irredeemable. But here I am stated is that non-convertible debentures and partly converted debentures are called as a associated with a 100% debt route of foreign institutional investor. Another one is bonds are also there. You may call it as a bonds or debentures are in similar lines of approach, that is called as it is related to interest also, and some dated government securities are also there. Treasury bills are there, that is called as a TBs, treasury bills. Treasury bills are different, other types are there, and in such connection some other debt market instruments are there through which they are welcoming through the foreign institutional investor. You invest in our Indian capital market so that our business, our trade commerce business can be upgraded at a extent level. My dear students, if you talk about in such a 100% route, if you in detailed way in 100% route, there are different type of guidelines are there. You see in my slide, the guideline says that is SEBI allocates of the individual ceilings, and SEBI can say SEBI means here Security Exchange Board of India. SEBI is established in 1992, and after the liberalization, privatization, and globalization is come up, or economic reform will arises, or banking sector reforms are to be knocks at a doorstep. At that time, one institution is came out to look into the financial market, that is called as a SEBI. SEBI means Security Exchange Board of India, who looks into the financial market. If you talk about IRDA, Insurance Regulatory Development Authority, that looks into the insurance market. If you talk about the bank, RBI is there, Reserve Bank of India is there, who looks or who approve the or checks the particular type of foreign institutional investor, or you may call it as a sub account, you may call it as a external commercial borrowings, or you may call it as a broader based funds, or you may call it as a 100% debt route segment through a fund arrangement, that is called as a debenture through debted government securities. Debted government securities means several times the governments in a government company, some of the foreign institutions are invested in a different way, and through treasury bills also. There is no limit on such issues of taken into account consideration of a foreign investment also. But if you correlate with these in international law business, how it is possible? Now the foreign investment flows and developing countries, these are the emerging issues, attractive quality issues, and high rate of return with new interest, which can be speckled by a so-called as a emerging capital market. If you talk about foreign institutional investor or FDIs are to be come up or invest their business, you may call as a, these are called as a emerging capital market, because through this way our business can be carry at a next level. But some of the regulatory framework related to FIs in India is there. Regulatory framework, I have already stated, RBI is there, RBI, Reserve Bank of India, which called as a bankers to bank, which called as a central bank, who is look into the buy, sell, realize the capital gains, investment also, and initial corpus limited also, and some FIs can some get some apply through certificate of registration through SEBI also. Means how it is possible, how the FIs invest in India, now through a professional agency or competency or a financial soundness, experience or reputation through which the business can happen. And SEBI also renew certificate also, and through SEBI can satisfy the applications format also, and that is called a certificate of form B also. And FI is also application to SEBI form A for renewals also within the 3 months after expiry of the certificate also. And every application grant of certificate with registration of 10,000 of a particular amount can be initial registration for renewal of certificate also. My dear students, here I am talking about how FIs are to be registered, how FIs are to be relevant our international business, and how it is be belongs to in a business at a next level of doing in a particular type of business approach. My dear student, in this connection, I want to say only one thing: you should be focus on only not only the balance of trade, but also trade of theories, and also exchange rate regulation, also some of the trade blocks also. In this way our international business operation or internationalization business can be focused on. And thank you. And in the next class we have to discuss in IBO-4 also, which is started in the time period is the 23rd, and the same time 7 to 8. And my dear students, if any if you question, if you any question